Archangel Michael says, a shocking deal is made behind your back. This is about your future. God is very angry at your son, open it quickly. Archangel Michael says, your name has been spoken in a hidden room, and the air around those words turned cold. The ink has already dried on an agreement that pretends to protect you while quietly taking what belongs to you. This message arrives like a sword of light, because silence has lingered too long. You were never meant to be left in the dark while others negotiate your path. People who smiled yesterday adjusted their masks and leaned over a table without you. Heaven recorded every whisper and counted every signature placed without your consent. The deal concerns more than money or land or access. It reaches toward your destiny and drags its fingers across the timeline of your life. That is why the alarm bell rings in your spirit right now. Your future is not a marketplace where strangers bargain for your harvest. Your calling is not a coin in the pocket of those who plot convenience. What they traded was not theirs to offer. This conspiracy demanded a price that only your peace could pay. They pressed your trust into a corner and told your tomorrow to be quiet. Heaven refuses to allow that silence. You felt the hints already because your nights became longer and your mornings felt heavy. A familiar number called and then hung up without speaking. A door closed softly in the corridor, and you knew it was not the wind. The signatures were set on an unassuming page, carried by a messenger who smiles with both lips and none of the heart. The document claims opportunity while hiding a surrender clause. Heaven calls that clause by its proper name, theft. Your son stands in the middle of this storm, not only as witness but as actor. Choices were made that disrespected order, honor, and the protection laid over your family. God is angry because rebellion was wrapped in convenience and labeled as independence. Anger from God is not the rage of men but the heat of holy correction. It burns against what distorts truth and harms the house that was meant to be a refuge. It arrives not to destroy a son but to rescue him from the cliff he cannot see. The cliff is disguised as a shortcut. It promises fast respect and quick profit. It hides the cost on the other side of the bend. He touched an agreement with unwashed hands and defended it with untrained words. He thought he shielded you while he negotiated his own comfort. The line he crossed was not just legal but moral and spiritual. Heaven now opens the ledger of motives. Pride wrote the first entry and fear wrote the second. Impatience tried to summarize the rest. This is why the wind around your house has been noisy. This is why meals tasted like nothing and laughter sounded hollow. A spiritual draft pushed through the windows because the seal of order cracked. The remedy begins with revelation because what remains hidden cannot be healed. Light is not gentle with darkness, but it is fair. The first act of rescue is to name the shape of the shadow. The shape looks like a promise that arrived early. It offered to help with the burden you have carried. The helpers wore gloves so white they reflected your hope back at you. They asked to manage what you built, to optimize what you own, to streamline what you dreamed. They used words like partnership and protection. A net formed under those words and tightened with every nod. You will remember the conversation that felt slightly off. The compliments came too quickly and landed without weight. Your spirit heard a bell and your mind dismissed it as nerves. Listen to that bell again because it keeps perfect time. It rang when a clause permitted transfer of authority during a crisis. It rang when consent became presumed rather than asked. It also rang when your son signed an introduction he had no authority to sign. He believed he was smoothing a path for you. He did not see the trap behind the flattering chairs. He favored quick relief over careful counsel. He picked speed over wisdom and named it initiative. Heaven is angry with that choice because it mocked the covering placed over your house. Covering is not control. Covering is a structure that keeps rain off the table where bread is shared. To step outside of it in pride invites weather into dinner. You will not be shamed by this revelation. Heaven does not speak to humiliate you. Heaven speaks to secure you. The first instruction is to pause the transaction. Your voice is the missing voice, and without it no decision is valid. Heaven will empower your words to carry the authority you already carry. The second instruction is to gather the papers and read slowly. Look for language that migrates control from you to a shell of convenience. Circle the sentences that move decision rights without naming the movement. There is a date that matters more than the signatures. It is the date when pressure formed into certainty inside those who conspired. The date will help you identify the exact point where motives turn. You will find an email sent at a not hour that unlocks the timeline. You will find a clause written in smaller words that contains the bigger danger. You will find your intuition was accurate the entire time. Your son must stand before God in honesty now. He must admit the shortcut and confess the pride that wore a helpful face. He must return the pen to the table and ask for instruction. Erection is mercy in motion. It interrupts a harvest of regret and plants the seed of strength. It builds a spine where impulse tried to stay in charge. This is not the end of his story. It is the moment where a different chapter begins. The chapter title is Responsibility. He will need to face the people he impressed and let their disappointment fall where it belongs. He will stand firm while they test the old power of guilt. You will remain calm because truth gives him a new spine. As you take back the pages, the atmosphere in your home will change. The windows will stop rattling and the hallway will feel warmer. The old songs will sound like themselves again. There are 3 signs that the turn has truly started. The first is a phone that rings with an apology you did not chase. The second is a door that opens for a meeting you did not beg to schedule. The third is a dream that returns joy to you like a forgotten necklace. You will wake and remember a color that once guided your decisions. You will put that color back over your day. Guard your boundaries with gentleness and iron. Speak clearly and keep your sentences short. Do not decorate the truth with unnecessary flourishes. Those who plot it will try one last performance. They will raise their voices or soften them depending on what worked before. They will say you misunderstood the spirit of the agreement. You did not misunderstand anything. You heard the content and the intent. You are now enforcing alignment between the two. Invite wise counsel to sit with you, because heaven enjoys teamwork that honors order. Bring someone who reads slowly and asks for plain meaning. Bring someone who is not interested in being liked by people who barter with trust. Your son must listen instead of defend. He must write down the instructions and repeat them back until they are second nature. He must apologize without explaining. You will feel the sting of humility. You will live through it and become stronger. You will discover that humility is lighter than arrogance. There is also a practical restoration plan. Cancel the transfer of decision rights and replace it with a review period. Require dual consent for any movement of authority during emergencies. Create a transparent record that shows who touched what and when. Give each action a reason and a witness. Let light make paperwork honest again. Your accounts will breathe once the pressure lifts. The numbers will stop feeling haunted. The bottom line will sound like a clear bell. Do not chase revenge. Do not rehearse outrage. Let justice be precise and emotionally quiet. You are not alone in this correction. Angels attend to the details you cannot hold all at once. They stand at the door and make sure pressure cannot push its way back in. Your house will feel different because the ceiling will stop leaning. Your steps will sound different because the floor will remember its strength. Your eyes will relax because the horizon will return. Your son will be tested again by the old speed. He will feel it inside his chest like a drum. He must choose to breathe and wait for counsel. Waiting is not weakness. Waiting is intelligent faith. Waiting is a room where clarity is invited to sit down. This experience will become a blueprint for others you love. They will ask how you removed the net without tearing your hands. You will answer in simple sentences that make complicated people nervous. You will say you paused the deal because peace disappeared. You will say you read the words until the words could not hide. You will say you held your authority without shouting. There will be a day when laughter returns and it does not echo. The table will hold bread and not papers. The room will hold warmth and not strategy. Your work will move again like a river that remembers its course. Your projects will rise like houses that trust their foundations. Your sleep will stop negotiating with worry. Each morning will carry the sound of a gate opening. Each afternoon will feel like honest sunlight. Each evening will arrive without a meeting attached to it. This is how heaven writes endings that are also beginnings. The ending is to an agreement you did not choose. The beginning is to a clarity you now refuse to lose. Guard your speech in this season because your words are keys. Use them to open, not to wood. Use them to define, not to drift. You will look back at this day and call it a rescue disguised as a warning. You will bless the moment courage walked into your mouth. You will remember that love protects even when correction feels sharp. Love now reaches toward your son even as correction stands firm. Love calls him into the dignity he forgot he had. Love places a steady hand on his shoulder and points him toward wisdom. You will hear the difference between flattery and favor. You will notice the temperature change when manipulation tries to smile. He will step back from those tables and choose a better one. At that better table, the conversation is slower. The chairs do not trap your posture. The water tastes like relief. Your legacy stretches farther than this confusion. Your name is larger than their plan. Your tomorrow grows their contract. Stand up from this message and take the papers back. Speak the truth and hold the room without raising your voice. Bring the matter into daylight until the shadows evaporate. Heaven stands with you, and the strength you feel is not imaginary. It is the steadiness of alignment. It is the music of order returning. Move through these next days with deliberate steps. Stop for counsel and keep your schedule honest. Keep your promises to yourself louder than their promises to you. When the dust settles, the house will know your footsteps again. The walls will carry your peace. The corners will stop collecting fear. Those who plot it will find themselves outside the circle of your trust. They will knock, but your boundaries will not apologize. They will learn that honor runs this house. And when you finally sit down, gratitude will not feel like relief from terror. It will feel like recognition returning. It will feel like the center of you stepping back into the center of your life. You will bless the correction that saved your son from a deeper fall. You will bless the clarity that saved your future from strangers. You will bless the courage that saved your name from quiet theft. The story continues now with you awake. The light stays on and the door remains guarded. Your future answers to you and to God, not to the signatures of convenience. This is the decree over your house. This is the boundary drawn in light. This is the peace that returns and intends to remain. Walk forward now and recover what was almost taken. Walk forward and train those you love in patience and clarity. Walk forward and let the right people see that you are not for sale. There will be a fresh sign within 3 days that all of heaven has moved on your behalf. It may arrive as an unexpected invitation. It may arrive as the release of a burden you carried so long you forgot its weight. Receive it without suspicion. Let it fold into your day like a warm garment. Let it remind you that rescue is not random. This message closes, but its echo remains in your steps. The echo keeps you aligned. The echo keeps you brave. Hold this instruction and move with it. Speak when needed and stay quiet when pressure tries to bait you. Rest in the knowledge that you are not late. The deal that tried to steal your tomorrow has failed. The sun who stepped wrong is turning. The house you guard is secured. Finish the necessary calls and write what must be written. Return the documents to honesty and let the witnesses observe. Shake no hands that require you to silence your discernment. Your authority is intact. Your peace is returning. Your future is unbought and untaken. This is the end of the hidden negotiation and the beginning of visible order. This is the edge of a map where you redraw the boundary in rightful lines. This is the place where your name sits in its proper seat again. Stand. Bream. Proceed. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. The next movement is precision. You will schedule a meeting in a neutral room, not their office, not your living room. You will bring a witness who honors truth over polish. The agenda will be printed on one page in clear lines. Item 1 is the reversal of any clause that transfers control without your explicit consent. Item 2 is the withdrawal of your name from any instrument created without your final signature. Item 3 is the declaration that no representative can commit you again without a pre-cleared mandate. Item 4 is the audit trail. Who touched what, when, and under whose authority. Item 5 is the closing statement where you reclaim what was never truly given. Before you walk in, still your breathing. Imagine a quiet river under a strong bridge and set your voice to that pace. Pressure will try to speed you up. It will fail. They will start with charm or with volume, whichever they think you prefer. Do not meet charm with charm or value with value. Meet both with clarity. If someone interrupts, let the silence after your pause do the correction. Continue exactly where you left off, as if order itself were escorting your words. Watch how the room begins to obey gravity again. You will have 3 documents prepared. The first confirms the pause of all actions pending your written approval. The second nullifies any assignments made without your informed consent. The third defines a path forward with milestones, accountability, and consequences. Each document uses plain language that refuses to hide traps. Each sentence closes the escape hatches they used before. Your son will attend with a notebook, not a speech. His task is to observe, write, and learn the structure of protection. This is training, not a spectacle. He will feel the weight of correction and the relief of boundaries at the same time. Let both sensations do their work. Growth happens where weight and relief meet. After the meeting, do not linger for small talk. Gather the signed pages and step into air that feels honest. Debrief with your witness and mark the timeline. Back at home, restore the environment with simple order. Put the papers in a clean folder and place it where light falls naturally. Brew something warm and let the room remember peace. Your household practices that strengthen a boundary. Keep a written ledger of commitments and review it weekly. Label every project with owner, scope, and finish line. Require 2 confirmations for any change that touches ownership or authority. Keep your calendar ahead of you by 7 days and behind you by 7 days. Freedom increases when calendars tell the truth. Teach your son the cost of flattery. Show him how compliments that race toward influence are not compliments at all. Show him how patience makes honest praise sound like metal, not foil. He will apologize again when he sees the full picture. Accept it without theater. Acceptance is firm ground, not a stage. Invite him into a season of apprenticeship. Assign him tasks that protect what he once endangered. Celebrate competence quietly and consistently. There will be calls from those who benefited from confusion. They will push for urgency as if they are rescuing you from your own caution. They will be surprised when urgency stops working. Replace urgency with cadence. Cadence is steady, predictable, and unbribable. Cadence turns chaos into scheduled irrelevance. Make a short list of trusted advisors who do not want your throne. Put their names where you can see them. Consult the list before you consult your feelings. Your sleep will start to repair itself after you enact these steps. The dreams will shift from warning to instruction, and from instruction to comfort. Let the comfort rebuild your morning. On the 3rd morning, watch for the small hinge that moves a large door. It might be a forgotten contact who suddenly has exactly the resource you need. It might be a system update that exposes the hidden pathway of the previous scheme. Accept useful help without giving away your steering wheel. Assistance is a gift, authority is a trust. Never trade one for the other again. Walk through your accounts like you are walking a fence line after a storm. Fix what needs fixing and not what held strong. Update your will, your mandate, your power of attorney instructions, and your emergency protocols. Clarity now prevents panic later, but COP is where trusted eyes can find them. Eat your son the triad of protection, consent, counsel, and confirmation. Consent means your yes matters more than anyone's timeline. Counsel means wisdom speaks before impulse. Confirmation means truth is checked by two sources that do not flatter each other. When these three stand together, schemes grow bored and leave. Boredom is one of heaven's quiet victories. Review contracts with a red pen and a ruler. The red pen marks danger, the ruler slows you down. Anything that demands speed without explanation earns a larger pause. Mark the names of those who showed their faces when they thought you were weak. Do not hate them. Do not hire them. Bless the value of memory. Memory is a library that keeps you from renting the same light twice. Return your card stamped with discernment. Your son will ask for more responsibility when his eyes clear. Grant it in measured portions that expand with proof. Authority grows safely inside feedback. He will meet the old shortcut in a new costume soon. He will recognize the posture before the offer. He will smile, decline, and feel taller inside. You will witness the first fruits of this restoration in ordinary places. A receipt will total correctly after months of errors that never made sense. A colleague will admit they were wrong and ask for your lead. A room you avoided will become your favorite room again. A task you postponed will take half the time you feared. A laugh you forgot will return to its original sound. Do not explain your discernment to those who make a sport of confusing it. Let them talk to their own echo. You will be busy building. Call a family council when the dust truly settles. Honor truth with simple sentences. Assign roles that protect the house instead of roles that perform importance. Set a quarterly boundary review. Put it on the calendar with the same seriousness as a medical check. Prevention is quieter than repair. Invest in tools that track signatures and approvals with immutable logs. Let technology serve integrity instead of seducing convenience. Your system should love the light as much as you do. Keep your circle warm and small. Warm keeps fear from sneaking in. Small keeps chaos from hiding. The right people will never ask you to abandon either. Visit the place where you almost lost your legacy, even if it is only a folder on a desk. Look at it in daylight and speak the truth about what almost happened. Then put it away with gratitude and resolve. The people who played you will try to rewrite history. They will say it was all a misunderstanding. They will say you were emotional. History will say you were awake. The documents will say you were precise. The outcomes will say you were wry. As for your son, his strength will no longer be a performance. It will be a habit. It will be a garden he tends with humility and time. He will thank you in ways that matter. He will protect what you protected. He will recognize the sound of peace and guard it like a living thing. You will notice the house changing. The corners will not gather dust like they used to. Even the stairs will feel safer. Your work will expand under the discipline of order. The right alliances will find you because clarity emits a signal that honest builders recognize. They will bring plans, not pressure. Let your yes be specific and your no be kind. Let your schedule mirror your values. Let your boundaries breathe but never break. This chapter will close when you sign one final statement, the declaration that your future cannot be traded behind your back ever again. Give a copy where hope can see it. Read it on the days when noise pretends to be news. From here forward, decisions will honor the architecture you restored. Your son will walk in step with that rhythm. Your name will travel without handlers. If shadows return, you will recognize their temperature immediately. You will turn on the light faster than they can introduce themselves. The light will remember its job and do it well. Stand in this new clarity and own its quiet power. People will feel it before you speak. Rooms will tune themselves to your pace. What was almost stolen has become the reason your gates are stronger. What tried to break you has become the material of your backbone. What wanted you silent has become your steady voice. Carry on with broad daylight in your pocket. Spend it on every page you sign and every door you open. Let it spill into the steps of those who follow you home. You will prepare a short letter that states your position in unmistakable terms. It will declare that your consent is the only doorway through which decisions may pass. It will state that any document that denies this truth has no life in your house. Send the letter through official channels and keep a copy where time cannot lose it. Archive the proof of delivery and the date it traveled. Let paper carry the clarity your voice has already spoken. Your son will deliver a personal note to you as well. You will write it by hand so his words carry the weight of ink and accountability. You will name the error, the motive, and the new discipline he accepts. Store his note with the key documents as a marker of turning. The page will remind both of you that mercy and order live in the same room. The page will also remind him that leadership is learned, not assumed. He will accompany you into practical chores that strengthen wisdom. You will sit through contract reviews and hear how each line must tell the truth. You will walk through budget meetings and learn why numbers are loyal only to clarity. You will notice that the tone of your phone calls changes. People who once rushed you now pace themselves to your rhythm. People who once spoke in fog now respect sentences that shine like clean glass. A colleague you respect will invite you to a table built on transparency. The invitation will arrive without drama or flattery. The proposal will align with your values and your pace. Accept the meeting and bring the same witness who values truth over polish. Read the offer aloud and listen for the music inside the words. Hunger will not guide you this time because hunger has learned to wait. Make a list of the non-negotiables that protect your legacy. Ownership remains in your hands unless a decision is made by you in daylight. Decision rights never migrate during crisis without two independent confirmations. Your son will build a checklist for daily discipline. The list will include reading every clause slowly, asking for plain language, and delaying any signature that feels rushed. The list will end with a reminder that peace is a metric as real as profit. Your home will adopt new rituals that keep the gate strong. Mail will be opened at a set hour with a calm mind. Messages will be answered from a place of order, not from the edge of pressure. The kitchen table will not carry negotiations anymore. The table will return to bread, laughter, and simple planning. Work will stay in its proper rooms where boundaries help it behave. In the first week of this cadence, a final push will arrive from the old circle. They will send a revised draft that pretends to apologize while smuggling the same transfer. They will hope fatigue writes your signature for you. You will return their document unmarked and unmoved. You will attach your previously signed statement that nullifies unauthorized assignments. You will end the exchange with a line that leaves no room for interpretation. The old circle will accuse you of stubbornness. Their accusation will circle the room and then fall to the floor. Stubbornness is the wrong word for integrity wearing a backbone. Your son will feel a flicker of shame as the noise rises. He will breathe through it and remember that accountability is a path, not a prison. You will keep walking because walking is how momentum grows respect. Schedule a quiet celebration when the cancellation is officially recorded. Invite only those who stood with you in the light. Raise a small toast to clarity and write the date on a card. Fold that card and place it with the other documents that mark this season. Your archive will become a museum of turning points. The museum will teach your future how to stay free. Set a quarterly review with your advisors to rehearse healthy boundaries. Review the ledger of commitments and verify each signature. Confirm processes that make errors expansive and honesty efficient. Your son will lead one section of the review under your supervision. He will explain the triad of protection and how it saved the house. He will present the audit trail that proves process is love and practice. A month from now, an opportunity with better structure will arrive. The terms will be clear and the time frames humane. The partners will show their governance model before they show their pitch. You will examine the model with patient eyes. You will ask for scenarios that test the rules against stress. The rules will hold because they were built with respect for consent, counsel, and confirmation. Time aligns and declines what did not. Keep your signature a gift that honors your values. Let every page you touch remember your standard. Your son's circle of friends will shift as the lesson settles. People who need shortcuts will drift away. People who enjoy accountability will grow closer. You will discover that real partnership makes him feel taller inside rather than louder outside. You will prefer the quiet competence that follows prepared meetings. He will begin to measure himself by stewardship instead of applause. You will extend the discipline of clarity to other corners of life. Health will get the same calendars and the same patience. Rest will be scheduled with the same seriousness as revenue. The walls of your house will stop listening for trouble. The floors will stop rehearsing the sound of crisis. The door will learn to recognize the footsteps of peace. A letter from an unexpected ally will arrive with gratitude. They watched you choose light over speed. They will say your stance gave them courage to review their own agreements. Share your blueprint freely with those who honor it. Hold it back from those who only want the language without the lifestyle. Protect the blueprint from becoming a trend for people allergic to accountability. At work, a long-delayed project will finally find its missing piece. A missing piece will be a person, not a tool. The person will understand how alignment turns effort into progress. Invite them into the rhythm you were built. Explain milestones and the meaning of clean handoffs. Build trust by delivering exactly what your schedule promises. You will notice that money arrives without the taste of panic. Invoices will be paid on time because you chose partners who like clocks. Expenses will become teachers that reward order and punish drift. There will be quiet mornings when you stand at a window and feel gratitude settle. The gratitude will not perform for anyone. The gratitude will sit with you like an old friend who knows your name. your son will pass his first independent test when a flattering offer lands in his inbox. He will hold it for 24 hours without reply. He will read it aloud to you and to counsel. Together you will look for the sentence that tries to move authority without saying so. Together you will mark it in red and send a simple decline. Together you will smile because growth leaves evidence. Establish a family clause that survives transitions. The clause states that no crisis permits the sale of peace. The clause states that no opportunity demands the neglect of wisdom. Carve this clause into the language of your will and your work. Carve it into the rhythms of your day. Carve it into the memory of those you lead. As seasons turn, teach from this story with restraint. Share the principles more than the gossip. Share the framework more than the names. Your voice will carry a settled authority that needs no armor. People will hear the weight of lived clarity. Wounds will soften before you speak because peace rehearses them. You will commit to an annual retreat focused on governance and gratitude. The retreat will review processes and celebrate quiet wins. The retreat will reset the pace for the year ahead. Your son will lead a session on failure as a teacher. He will tell the truth about his shortcut and the mercy that met him. You will outline the steps that keep other sons from the same cliff. You will bless his courage and mark the day as a milestone. The milestone will join the Museum of Turning Points. The museum will become a map for those who inherit your house. News of your stance will reach some who once doubted you. Doubt will become respect because consistency makes its own argument. Respect will become collaboration because honest builders look for each other. Keep your heart free from bitterness even as you guard the gate. Bitterness carries the shape of old chains. Freedom carries the breath of open windows. Write a brief creed that fits on one page and post it where work begins. The creed will define consent, tonsil, confirmation, cadence, and care. The creed will remind everyone that excellence is a moral choice, not a mood. Let generosity rise again now that boundaries are strong. Give from overflow, not from pressure. Give with receipts, not with excuses. The people who plotted will learn their lesson far from your table. Consequences will teach them what your patience already knew. Your absence from their plans will be louder than any speech. Redirect your attention to building what lasts. Pour your energy into structures that outlive fashion. Aim your days at fruit that does not rot in the dark. Your son will begin to mentor others who remind him of his former self. He will offer them a path that keeps their gifts intact. He will measure success by the peace they keep while they grow. The house will host gatherings where courage and clarity are normal. Agreements will be read in the open and celebrated for their honesty. Teams will leave your rooms with steadier spines and clear eyes. Keep revisiting the basics even when you feel advanced. Basics never graduate from their importance. Basics make brilliance predictable. As time moves, the memory of the scheme will lose its sting. The memory will keep its lesson and surrender its pain. The memory will sit quietly in the archive and guard your thresholds. Your future remains untraded because you reclaimed it in daylight. Your name remains clean because you chose clarity over charm. Your legacy remains strong because you steward correction into wisdom. Walk forward with the same calm you used to close the door on confusion. Meet new opportunities with the same patience that saved your house. Keep your cadence steady so peace can keep pace with you. This continuation settles like a foundation under a home that intends to stand. The beams are order, the walls are truth, and the roof is peace. A door belongs to you and opens only to consent, counsel, and confirmation. You will strengthen the circle of decision-making with a charter that fits on one sheet. It will define roles, thresholds, and what happens when a threshold is crossed. It will live beside every project like a compass that never flatters the storm. Draft the charter with verbs that move and nouns that anchor. Replace vague phrases with measurable steps anyone can audit. Let the last line say, when peace leaves, progress pauses. Institute a cooling-off period for high-impact choices. 48 hours of quiet is not delay, it is protection. Urgency that cannot survive 2 sunsets is not urgency but manipulation. Create a permissions matrix that tells truth in boxes and lines. Every asset, access, and authority must be mapped to a named steward. No GoTans, no borrowed signatures, no favors disguised as workflows. Archive the old contracts not as trophies but as teachers. Tag them with the lesson they paid for. Use those tags to train the next gourd at the gate. Your son will take responsibility for digital boundaries as well as paper ones. 2-factor authentication will become a household habit, not an optional extra. Passwords will stop being poetry and become keys you rotate like clockwork. Schedule a quarterly red team day where trusted eyes try to break your system. Let them probe processes, poke at policies, and pressure test agreements. Pay them with gratitude and a culture that listens instead of bristling. Shift meetings from performance to purpose. Every gathering must answer why, who decides, and what changes, and on time because discipline is a love language. Teach the art of the no that honors both giver and asker. A clean no is a boundary that refuses to wound. A messy yes is a trap wrapped in politeness. As momentum returns, set milestones you can celebrate without noise. Quiet wins turn into stable pathways. Stable pathways create futures that do not beg for rescue. Invite your son to keep a private journal of decisions and their outcomes. Reflection converts events into wisdom. Wisdom reduces the need for drama. He will share an entry that humbles him and frees him. He will describe the flattering email he declined without shaking. You will note how peace tasted afterward, steady and bright. You will share an entry that acknowledges fatigue and sets a guard. You will write that tired leaders sign foolish things. You will record how rest restored your courage to decline. Begin a small scholarship of integrity in your community. Support young builders who choose clarity over speed. Offer them training in consent, counsel, and confirmation. Refuse to weaponize the story against those who failed you. Consequence is already at work and does not need your bitterness. Your mercy will protect your own heart from becoming a courtroom. Walk the property of your responsibilities like land you love. Notice weak fences and honest gates. Repair a Hindu before it becomes a headline. You will teach your son how to handle silence. Silence in a negotiation is not emptiness but information. Let others fill it with the truth of their motives. Write a crisis playbook while you are calm. Assign roles for who speaks, who decides, and who stops the stampede. Make the first step always the same. Slow everything down. Your household language will change in practical ways. Let me think will become a sacred phrase. Not now will rescue you from more traps than yes ever did. Bring a mentor into your son's world who has nothing to sell him. Let him learn the cadence of a life that keeps promises without fanfare. Let competence cure the last traces of his old hunger for applause. Here will be a day when the former conspirators try to rebrand themselves as allies. They will cite your firmness as proof that you're finally ready. They will mistake your patience for permission. Answer them with the new standard, clarity or no. Give them the kindness of directness and the gift of closed doors. Let their lesson arrive without your anger escorting it. You will formalize a tradition of first principles meetings. Once a month, you and your core team return to the fundamentals. What do we protect? Why and how do we know it's protected? Your son will present a chart that tracks decisions against outcomes and peace. He will show how rushed choices cost more than measured ones. The numbers will confirm what your spirit already knew. Replace heroics with systems. Heroics are expensive celebrations for poor planning. Systems are quiet celebrations for wisdom that arrived on time. Establish an external reviewer who is not impressed by your brand. Let them audit your agreements twice a year. Invite the discomfort that prevents disaster. Your calendar will begin to look like a well-tended orchard. Meetings are trees that must bear fruit or be pruned. White space is the soil where roots breathe. Practice 3 kinds of listening: to people, to patterns, and to peace. People tell you what they want. Patterns show you what they do. Peace tells you what you should choose. Align all 3 before you act. As you refine, joy will stop arriving as a surprise guest and start paying rent. It will live in the ordinary places you once ignored. It will sit at breakfast and follow you into work. Your son will take initiative without taking the wheel. You will prepare, propose, and then wait for your green light. Waiting will make his solutions stronger. Introduce a shadow day where he watches decisions ripple across departments. Let him see how a line on a page moves a person's week. Let him feel the weight of leadership as stewardship, not control. When legacy partners ask why your pace changed, tell them the truth. You learn to measure progress by peace and integrity. You refuse to bleed for speed. Create a simple dashboard in your office that anyone can read. Green means aligned. Yellow means investigate. Red means pause. Keep the legend honest so colors cannot lie for comfort. Hold a family evening where you tell the story in the right order. Warning, wake up, correction, cadence. Replace blame with responsibility. Replace shame with learning. Your son will thank you with fewer words and deeper actions. He will show up 10 minutes early and leave 5 minutes late. He will check the small things before they become big things. He will also learn to celebrate you properly. He will point out the wins you understate. He will remind you that strength can smile. Place a plaque near your workspace with 3 lines that saved this season. My consent is not a formality. My pace is not a weakness. My peace is not for sale. From time to time, revisit the documents that almost wounded your future. Read them without trembling. Notice how small they look against the architecture you rebuilt. Build a library of clean templates, statements of work, partnership terms, exit clauses, review calendars. Let cleanliness become your brand. Let predictability become your advantage. To protect creativity, fence it with routine. Schedule deep work when your mind is strongest. Defend that hour like a border. when new collaborators arrive, give them the creed before you give them the project. Let them meet your boundaries as hospitality, not barriers. Watch how the right people relax when standards are clear. Your son will design a training session called The Power of a Slow Pen. He will teach peers how to read contracts aloud until manipulative language loses its perfume. He will laugh at his old impatience and mean it, institute a cooling yes policy. Every big yes gets a smaller follow-up yes after a week. If the second yes shrinks, the first one wasn't honest. If the second yes grows, you were on the right track. You will be tempted to apologize for how strong you've become. Resist that temptation. Strength that protects is a kindness. Honor your health like a covenant. Hydrate, move, sleep, and unplug. A rested mind closes doors that a tired mind leaves open. Take your son to the place where you draft decisions. A long table, good light. No hurry. Show him the tools, highlighters for risk. Sticky notes for dependencies. A timer for breaks. Show him how calm rooms make clear choices. There will be a moment when someone new tries to impress you with scarcity. They will say it is now or never with a smile that doesn't reach their eyes. You will say, if it's never when I'm careful, it's not for me when I'm rushed. Create a post-mortem without blame ritual for every project. Curiosity becomes the surgeon that removes embarrassment and leaves learning. As restoration deepens, generosity becomes precise. You will give to efforts that mirror your values, not your moods. You will fund clarity and accountability, not theater. Your son will find freedom in frameworks. You will wake up knowing what good looks like. He will go to sleep grateful that excellence is visible. You will notice the weather inside your home stay steady even when external storms pass by. That steadiness is your new normal. That normal is the miracle you keep. Teach the difference between patience and passivity. Patience holds the line with active watchfulness. Passivity leaves the gate unlocked and calls it faith. Your team will start anticipating your questions. They will arrive prepared with facts and alternatives. Meetings will turn into decisions instead of rehearsals. Keep a list titled Things We No Longer Do. Add to it when old habits tempt you. Read it when flattery knocks. When your son mentors others, you will tell them the secret of unglamorous courage. It is the courage to draft, review, and redraft until truth has no disguise. It is the courage to say not yet without guilt. A festival of small victories will replace the old economy of crises. Projects will finish near their deadlines instead of near disaster. People will go home with energy instead of explanation. The outside world will still be noisy, but it will stop ohming your pulse. Your cadence will be yours, not a reaction to their drums. Your calendar will answer to purpose, not panic. Plan a yearly day where you write letters to your future self. Include the lessons you refuse to forget. Include the gratitude you refuse to postpone. Your son will write his own letter and tuck it beside yours. You will commit to humility as a lifelong companion. You will sign it with a hand that no longer shakes. Invite the elders you respect to speak into your systems. Let seasoned eyes find what young strength misses. Let honor bridge generations for the sake of endurance. Conclude deals with aftercare, not just signatures. Schedule a check-in 30 days later to confirm reality matches promises. Make course corrections before disappointment becomes damage. Your name will become shorthand for trustworthy pace. People will reference you when they defend their own boundaries. You will quietly raise the standard in rooms you haven't entered. Keep your humor alive because joy is armor, too. Laugh at the drama you no longer purchase. Smile at the patience you once feared. Once a season, visit a quiet place with no agenda. Let the stillness audit your soul. Return with one small change that makes everything else easier. Your sun will begin to shine without burning. You will lead without leaning on applause. He will become the guardian he needed, and you, steady and clear, will carry the future like a lantern instead of a burden. The path will glow a few steps at a time, which is enough. Peace will keep walking beside you because it likes your company now.